On Kentucky Tonight, Monday night at 8 p.m., we're going to discuss medical marijuana and if marijuana is medicine. On tonight's Closer Look segment, we're examining that question. Recent surveys find that nearly 80% of Kentuckians favor medical marijuana. 29 other states and the District of Columbia have already legalized it. Should Kentucky be next? KET producer Laura Kruger and crew explore the different answers from some in the medical community in this report. For the last 5 years, Eric Crawford and Jaime Montalvo have come to Frankfort to persuade lawmakers to legalize medical marijuana in Kentucky. Eric, who is a quadriplegic, suffers from chronic pain and glaucoma.
The pain, I just don't feel like getting out of bed. My cramps are horrible, my knees hurt, my wrist hurt, my elbows hurt, my neck hurts.
Over the years, Eric has been prescribed a multitude of opioids and muscle relaxers.
And when I take these pills, I'm mean to my wife. I feel crazy. I can't help the words that I say. And sometimes they cause me to hurt worse. And I don't want to be addicted to pills or die from them. Cannabis makes me comfortable.
Jaime, who has multiple sclerosis, also had a negative response to opioids and other prescription drugs.
I've had problems with my liver. I've had problems with other organs in my body. Cannabis is an alternative remedy that actually benefits my entire body, you know, from muscle spasms to lack of sleep to pain, and eventually just better quality of life.
Both no longer want to live in fear that using the one drug that eases their suffering will put them in jail.
Right now, I'm scared to death. Legislators should get behind me and other people and listen to what we say when cannabis helps us.
Currently, over 29 states plus the District of Columbia have legalized medical marijuana. 9 of those states plus D.C. have legalized recreational marijuana. According to a 2013 Kentucky Health Issues poll, 78% of Kentuckians are in favor of medical marijuana. Representative John Sims and Senator Steve West, Eric's legislators, recently introduced comprehensive medical marijuana legislation, House Bill 166 and Senate Bill 118.
What medical marijuana is doing is giving that patient the choice, the liberty, or the freedom to try cannabis to treat their condition.
However, the Kentucky Medical Association favors further research. On a recent episode of Kentucky Health hosted by Dr. Wayne Tuckson, 2 pain specialists had this to say.
Your opinion, please. Medical marijuana for pain relief. What do you think?
So I think medical marijuana is a little bit of a misnomer because we don't have any drug out on the market that has a dozen or 2 dozen, or in marijuana's case, 64 different active medical ingredients. And we don't have any dosing regulation. We don't have any dosing recommendations for it. It's not a medical product. It's a recreational product, but it's not a medical product. But there are certain entities within marijuana that I think are worth looking at and have potential. But as a whole product, as marijuana itself, I mean, cocaine comes from the cocoa plant or the cocoa leaf. It's one chemical within a variety of chemicals, just as marijuana has many different properties.
Pat, what is your opinion on that?
Well, I don't like people getting high to get their pain under control. And the THC in the marijuana causes a high. It also is addictive, and they say it's not addictive. It's about as addictive as alcohol. And the argument is that, well alcohol is legal. Well, alcohol's not legal for pain control. It's just like, you know, bourbon will help pain. But we don't want people treating their hip pain with, you know, bourbon every night.
But not every physician shares this perspective. Dr. Don Stacy, a board-certified radiation oncologist from Louisville, has seen the positive effects of cannabis on his patients.
I understand why physicians are not out supporting cannabis. I was skeptical, but I had particular patients who were telling me it was helping them. I've had patients arrested in the middle of treatment for using the only product that was helping them deal with the problems that I was causing, that I could not resolve with conventional medicine. So I decided to, research the actual data and look.
Dr. Stacy discovered a 2017 report produced by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine that examined abstracts from over 24,000 studies. The report concluded that cannabis and cannabinoids were helpful for chronic pain, chemo-induced nausea, and muscle spasms from multiple sclerosis.
So it's not some random physician saying this. We have thousands, hundreds of thousands of patients, many physicians, many studies. Do we need more data? Certainly. We need huge, giant phase 3 studies to go into the details of the dosing. Why don't we have that data? Because cannabis is a Schedule I product. It's banned.
Schedule I drugs are those that are considered to have a high potential for abuse, no currently accepted medical use, and a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. Marijuana is classified as a Schedule I drug, along with drugs like heroin, LSD, and ecstasy.
So this sort of becomes a circular argument. You know, they demand research, and you say, well, then lift the ban so we can do the research. And then they say, well, we're not going to lift the ban until you get the research. So, you know, there's no possible way to answer all of these particular objections.
Let us urge the FDA, the NIH, the National Institute of Health, the DEA.
Representative Danny Bentley is sponsoring House Concurrent Resolution 34, which asks federal drug control agencies to, quote, expedite research on the safety and effectiveness of the use of marijuana for certain health purposes.
Who's not deeply moved by the stories of those that are desperate for relief? So it's truly our task to help, not harm them, and the many thousands of others who also will be harmed by us if, in the name of compassion, we make a hasty, uninformed, unscientific decision that is not our decision to make.
In the meantime, state medical marijuana advocates are tired of waiting for the federal government to respond.
But the issue with medical cannabis is that, you know, we're arresting people. We're arresting and caging people for using a product that we as physicians are failing to relieve particular symptoms. They're finding relief on their own, and then we're arresting them. It's an outrage.
What we know today is that there's never been a death attributed to marijuana. Why are we treating it like it's this lethal drug?
What I hope to happen is this state have the best medical marijuana bill there is in the nation, and people get relief and put up the pills.
On Kentucky Tonight, Monday night at 8 Eastern, Representative John Sims, a Democrat who's sponsoring House Bill 166, will join the panel, along with Republican Representative Kim Moser, who runs the Office of Drug Control Policy in Northern Kentucky. We hope you'll tune in Monday night for our discussion, and remember to tweet your questions to @KY Tonight, KET.